some very lovely,
Well,
some very lovely work.
do you mind? Who's sitting
So,
at the end?
Omar, and let's see, we have that scene coming in, right, from Omar's play,
Yes.
and other scenes that we have today. Michael,
Okay, so me and Shruti have been working on Taste of Honey. So whenever there's a time.
Now, for those who are working on scenes, you have the benefit, and this is why I really want you to take advantage of this, and I don't see you doing that. I want you to get the most out of it. We have at least 3 or 4 associate directors in here ready to work with you. And they're being underused right now. They're being underused, waiting. So, put them to work. Mildred Purdy has even her own place to rehearse with her. Okay. On Tuesdays, usually Tuesday nights she will do it, or Thursday nights, but you can call Mildred. And the only thing she knows, she wants your lines learned, and well she should. Well she should, before she gets to work with you. Eddie, our associate director, is waiting. See? Actors are supposed to be hungry. You know? I mean, this is what the studio can offer and does offer, and you ain't using it. So, there it is. Okay. Joining us is John Maxim, who is an actor, but also a director, film and theater. Waiting. Nothing is more pathetic, I think, maybe that's over dramatized, than actors who wait to be called. Please phone me. Please phone me. Please hire me. How pathetic that is. The actors I know who are working professionally all the time, it's their own projects. Their own projects. I'm not talking about unknowns. I'm talking about people that you know very well, including Mr. Tom Cruise, including Mr. Tom Hanks. They do their own projects. They don't wait, please call me. I don't know what to do. I'm waiting for a director to discover me and make me a star. What is that? The studio is about going to people and getting, you know. So you guys know that. You just need a little goose. Actors who need goosing don't work. They don't work. It's that simple. That sounds cruel, but guess what? That's the reality. You need goosing? Please. I have people constantly saying, I need a little push. I need a... Get another job. Get out of the business. You need a goose? There are too many people that want to work. And here it's all for you on a slab, waiting. Grady Shea is directing, wants to direct. He's waiting for Godot. You know? So you gotta do the work by at least calling, talking to people, getting them to meet with you. And directors also have the option of starting their own projects. Casting from what they see. You're being watched in rehearsals by directors and playwrights. Omar's going to be producing his own play that we're developing here that we're working on. It'll be done in February. We have a history of things that started in this class at the Simon Studio and became full productions. Everything from scene nights for agent and managers to full off-Broadway contracts with people from the studio. How did that happen? oh, please choose me. No, it didn't happen that way. It happened because actors started these things. And I responded to that. And I saw it, and we kept adding to it. And then we found the backing. So if you're an actor in New York, you're a producer. And if you're not, good luck. Good luck. Which means you have to have backing for yourself, enough to keep studying, enough to do your own projects. You've got to be an entrepreneur. Oh, I'm an artist. I can't do that. Good luck. Good luck. You better have somebody that can, who's your soulmate pushing you or something. But most of us don't have that. So most of us have to do the work rather than, I'm an artist only. You know. So here's stuff that you can look at for those of you who are new from the last 40 years. I'll pass this on, okay? Just very quickly, I thought, Laura Fay, what you did with Medea was wonderful, because aside from your talent, what you did, which many of us did, but particularly I thought Laura Fay, by the time it got to you, everybody pretty much had gone. So you, in character, actually found a way to get to Grady, who hadn't gone yet, without going, who the hell hasn't gone? I've got to find something. I mean, that's why I said to Angie, who cares whether you get the lines? You're an actor. You've got to, in rehearsal, you'll get the lines afterwards, you'll look and you can, there's always another rehearsal you'll get the lines, but there isn't a chance to actually do something with somebody or a group of people. You can't blow that chance by going, oh, my lines, oh, you know, no, because that's a bad habit. You do that in rehearsal, it's going to happen in the performance. So you have to stay with that, you know. The hard part of directing is being very minimal in what you give, rather than everything. So with that in mind, Eddie, a few things about what you saw, not dealing necessarily with everything, you know, but the things that really came, and then I will call on John Maxim and Grady as directors to give a few notes as well from what they saw.
I'll just get a general. A lot of you guys were, and I mentioned it. A lot of you guys are playing the mood of what you're doing, and you know, mood spelled backwards is doom, D-O-O-M. What happens is you blend into the scenery when you're walking on stage, going like this. You can't hear you. You're talking to yourself. Every monologue has to be turned inside out to find the irony, to find a reaction to this horrible thing that's happened to you. You can't go, you know, that's just what I'm gonna, you know, it's all I want to say. Because acting is reacting, cliche, but it's not. It's reacting. Just, I'll see you. Your monologue is the classic reacting monologue, because this kid has to be up and cheerful, and then we learned that he committed suicide later on. Do you know that?
No, I didn't.
You didn't know that, okay. Because he tells you a hard luck story on his way to a date, but he's covering it up. You know, that his mother sends him to military school because she's an actress, and she's too busy to see him. And he covers up, and he's, you know, oh yeah, but she's really, you know, very nice and all that. And he's introducing himself to his blind date's mother, who comes in to watch what's going on before they all go out. It's two couples are going out. So that's the ultimate, it's just an example. I don't know if anybody heard the monologue, but the example is that, you know, you're not going to go to stand, you know, my mother, yeah, nobody wants me, whatever the line is. Is that the beginning of the monologue?
Yeah, I did it from the beginning. I didn't get up to the mom yet.
Okay, well, what at the beginning of, yeah, I always, you know, what's the line?
I always worry that maybe people aren't going to like me when I go to a
I was
party.
worried, you know, I would think people are not gonna like me when they go to a party. He's covering it. Aren't I crazy? Oh my God. And then he goes on and on and on. And that's what you have to do. You have to take every monologue, turn it into a positive. Turn it into a reaction. You don't want people to see you suffering because you're covering. Marlon Brando says we act every time we leave our house because we put a front on. Anyhow, that's
Nice.
my piece.
Nice. And John and Grady, would you say what your notes are until we do some more work on the on-camera stuff? We'll work on the monologues and come back to them. But any quick thing that you wanted to?
For me, this is something I found that I did today, and that I lost the intention to speak because I lost what my want was. I didn't know really what I wanted from the other person, and so I just found myself wandering, and then I didn't have any, then without like having like a need from the other person, I just found myself like moving without purpose, and then holding my body at times without purpose, and that de-energized me. And I did see that around the room a bit. Is that I didn't know what people wanted off the bat. I mean, there's a couple people I did, but for the most part, like I didn't even know what I wanted today. So,
That, as an actor, that reminded you as a director, right?
Yeah.
It kind of brought you back. Yeah. Omar, anything as a director?
I want to build upon that. I think you're right, and I think part of the reason is they had to feed off the other person, and that sidetracked. I think, you know, it kind of messes with the intention of the monologue.
mm-hmm.
So I guess we have to find a way to take momentarily and then sort of direct it into what the monologue is about, which is not easy, but I guess it's the exercise.
Grady, any notes as a director?
Yeah, I think the most powerful part about this exercise is remaining your character throughout the whole time, you know, in that circle. So as you're listening to each monologue, you're thinking as your character. You're analyzing that person as they walk through their monologue as your character. So then when they hand it off to you, you're really just responding. You know, we've already been talking about reacting. Oops, I'm sorry. Your monologue stuck out to me so much because you gave us so much, like out of a cannon. It was spectacular, so much energy. But then you lost the last line, and you were still up. You were still in your character. You said, and I don't remember the last part of my line.
Oh, you heard that.
Yes, yes. And I was so disappointed because you could have just stuck it like a gymnast, and we wouldn't have known where the end was, right? And so then you kind of broke it for your next person as well. I mean,
I'm so sorry.
it made it harder for her to still be there because all of a sudden you're a person and not a character, right?
Every monologue is a bounce. Someone says something to you and you have to answer them. You know, you have to, even if it's a monologue that's just written as a monologue, you have to endow it. Somebody's saying something, oh no, you don't understand.
Right.
And that's where you get your need, because you have to convince somebody.
Right. JJ, anything as a director?
I gotta take my video hat off. Yeah, some of you got flummoxed for some reason, and missed your cues to react and start doing your own piece.
What do you mean, flummoxed?
Well, I guess at a loss for words. There would be a very long
Right.
4 or 5 beats before they began
Right.
the response.
Because, what were they doing?
Listening.
They were probably figuring as the other person finished.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing on the part of the person who's giving you the words, because maybe it means that you're really in the moment. You're so rapt, your attention, that you don't know.
Could be. Wouldn't be so
thinking
bad
of
if
how
it
to-
wouldn't be so bad if they interrupted.
Yeah, That would be a good
Wouldn't be so
idea.
bad if they interrupted,
Mm-hmm.
the other person would find a way to finish the speech after that, because they'd be working together rather than, you mustn't do that, I'm not finished.
Yep.
You know, you work with what's happening.
And some of you didn't spend enough time with the person who gives you the cue, interacting with them first before you started taking it to the whole group. So that's a time to play. And some of you, well, I think one in particular, spent almost the whole time focused on one person, instead of realizing there were others and other colors you could get by maybe interacting
Well,
with the other
scene was
folks.
with only one other person, though, maybe that scene was only one, and that's specific, rather than
That
bullshit
could be, yeah.
playing to everybody, which is not a specific, it's a general thing. We want to be specific as much as we can. Okay, has everybody signed in with the, I guess,
Can I share something?
Scott is there, good, he's got it.
No.
Yes, please.
I thought it was very interesting, like when people went to whoever they intended to go to, the monologue seemed to connect. Like, it just seemed to flow better, like whatever I'm talking about went with whatever you were getting ready to talk about. Did anybody else notice that? Because like, the person who came to me, she was talking about her husband and how they weren't intimate. And then I went into, you should come around one night and watch your husband bubbling into your pillow. So it just meshed well. I noticed that happen a few times.
I mean, because the lines seem to.
Yeah.
That was just a happy accident?
Yes.
Yeah, a few times.
But
And I
you
was like,
see-
wow, that's really cool.
But you see, if you're really connecting, it really doesn't matter whether the lines are going to connect or
Of course,
not.
I know that too, yeah.
So it shouldn't matter.
Did you react off the wife saying about her husband in bed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first time, I loved your reaction, you're going, whoa, you know, you really reacted to it.
Mm-hmm.
The second time, because when they repeated it, you know, maybe you were thinking of something else, but the first impulse was great, because you just went, oh.
So my first time was.
I felt what you were saying, oh my God.
Yeah. My first time was like, wow, you know, that's a bad thing. And
Yeah.
the second time I was like, you know, whatever.
Well,
I
you
kind
heard
of
it already.
smirked at it. No.
No?
I
Okay.
kind of smirked because I'm someone who slept with someone's husband. So it was like,
Yeah,
I'm
you know,
not really
whatever
sorry
it is,
for
I
it.
love the first one, it was just organic, home,
It was very organic.
impulsive.
You want to see some happy accidents, look, Google Roger and Bard at the bar.
Roger and Barb.
It's an interactive Shakespeare collage that's filled with hundreds of happy accidents.
We're doing it again in March. Every year we do a
Oh,
whole
I'm sorry.
Shakespeare collage called Bard at the Bar, and we do it at the Players Club, and we do it at Arts on the Lake for industry and public. And it all comes out of the classes.
Gramercy Park area. It's right in that park.
oh, I don't know about
Just like you have to stick with the bar.